Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Ren. We just finished our offline regionals at Santa Clara, and we ended up getting 6th place with Reiju. So out of the top eight players, there was 6 Gecko Moria, 1 Katakuri, and 1 Reiju. Honestly, made it that much more sweeter being able to top with the only person playing this deck, or well, only one that made top 8 with this deck. So we'll kind of go through the event pricings and kind of like a deck profile and just a rundown of all my matchups. So we'll just start off with the event packs. They give you Monette, they give you Law, Zoro, and Yamato. And obviously we get that Gear 5 Dawn. And then we got Finalist Jet Pistol, Scratchman Apu, Sanji, and brand new. Everyone's probably gonna want this brand new. It's used in so many decks. Gecko Moria, Sakazuki, just a staple. And then the big boys, top 8, Luffy. Look at that beautiful card right there. And then we have top 16 Law, and top 64 Kid. And of course, we opened up our pack. We ended up getting number 101, Serial Shanks. Pretty good number, can't complain. Most likely I'll probably keep these cards right here. First event that I ended up getting top 8 with, so we'll just keep it for the time being. So we ended up getting Reiju, or going top 6 with Reiju. Little rundown of the deck. Whole deck honestly just runs on stage right here. Everything works because of the stage. It helps you discard the things that you don't need and draw what you needed. Helps you draw the pieces. Has your Germa 66. Also helps you to kind of find stage. If you don't have this on your hand, might as well mulligan it and hope that you at least have this to help you find the stage. And then we have the babies, the 4 Ichiji, 4 Niji, and 4 Reiju. They're just the small drops that helps you evolve into the bigger drops. Move this. Helps you evolve into the bigger drops, which is Reiju, helps you draw 2. Niji, bounce a 3 cost or 4 cost, I think. Yeah, it's a 4 cost, just had to clarify that. And then we have Ichiji, the main guy that you want to play for, honestly. Turn 2 7k, 7 cost body is hard to get rid of. Wins you a lot of games if they can't take it off. 2 Judge. Usually you just need 2 Judge. Most of the time you're just playing one of this every game. By the time you play it, the game's probably over the following turn, or you're just Dawn minused enough and you're not going to be able to play this anymore. And your favorite 2k counter, Sora, helps you to pick up a baby, most likely Ichiji or whatever you need to be able to either draw cards with Reiju or rush them down. You have 4 Kayas. If you're completely bricked up, helps you to cycle off even more. I'll probably only play this if I have completely dead cards in my hand, like a bunch of Ichijis, and I need to get rid of them. And then we have 4 Double Finger. It's a 2k counter, main thing, but also on your turn, when you have 5 Dawn, it helps you kind of set up for a Judge turn the following turn. So it's pretty good in that sense if you really need to judge the next turn. We have 2 Queen. Won me a lot of games, I would say. Just being a 5k blocker makes a big difference. It can't be arrested by a Maru, and it helps you cycle. So if you have nothing else in your hand, you just draw 2, you trash 1. Helps with the end game if they're pushing for lethal and then you need to get some more counters. And obviously we have Pudding. You need to run at least 2, I would say. It's just a big threat for people who like to keep a lot of cards in their hand. Especially Sakazuki that likes to shape their hand every turn. So you just out that by playing Pudding. Have him reshuffle everything back and draw 5. I know a lot of people run the other blocker, the Yonji, but personally, I don't think I needed it. There's just, in my mind, there's just so many things that outs the four cost blocker, so I decided to not run it. And most of the time, you're not really playing Judge full board, or well, you don't really need to in a sense. So I'd rather have a 2K counter. So we'll kind of break down our matchups that we went through that day. First game was Katakuri. MVP on that game was honestly this guy right here, Niji and Ichiji. These two single-handedly just wins you the Katakuri matchup. All you have to do really is bounce everything that they have, since they have Pero Sparrow or a Kuki Kinojo. Most likely you don't want to spend time getting rid of the board and helping them find the pieces that they need. So you just want to slam this down, have them put it back in their hand, so next turn they're wasting another turn to either put it down or just swinging max. And then obviously 7 cost, 7k body, hard for them to get rid of. It's just swinging 7 every single turn, puts them on a clock. Katakuri matchup, I would say usually always go first. Or actually no, not first. Go second, because if they go first, all they can do is either max swing you, or they play a 3 drop and then swings 5 with their leader. But when that happens, it's so good for you because you're just blocking or countering everything. And it helps you to stay healthy when they 7 drop. Second game was against Sakazuki. Honestly, it was a disgusting game on my end. I had this, and what else did I have here? I had pudding, and I had Ichiji. I think I had this on my hand. This was my hand. Not too sure if I went first or second, but the main thing is I was able to find the big Ichiji with this, discard it with this. Next turn, I played Vince Smoke Ichiji, swung 7 at leader. He had to take it. Obviously, swing with my leader. And then following turn, he couldn't get rid of it, so I just swung 7 again. Swung 7 with my leader. Or, no, I put this down, so he was at 8 cards in hand. Swung 7 with this, played this. He had to reshuffle everything in his hand, and then I swung 6 with my leader. He tossed out another 2k. So basically he was down to 4 cards in hand on his next turn, on his third turn. And mind you, the turn before, he was using Brand-New, Tashigi, Great Eruption, kind of find the pieces that he wanted, but then once he got them, just putting everything away. So that game honestly just went in favor of me pretty well. Next game, I ended up going against Reiju. He was able to Dawn minus first, but I was able to set up bigger bodies on my turn. I was able to put this guy down, 2 of them, with the upgrade, even though I didn't really have the effect on him. And so it kind of just helped me to kind of control the board and also just develop big bodies so I can push for game. Fourth game, I went against another Katakuri. I would say it's probably my closest game. It was just off by 1k, so everything in the deck played a big role. The main thing I would say is the 2k counters, and where's that person? And Reiju right here. This was the biggest deal in that matchup, because I knew I couldn't go for game that turn. I swung 5. He ended up taking it, get a trigger. I think it was like to draw a card or something, and then he just had a couple more lives that I can't really go for game. So what I ended up doing on 7 Dawn is I played Reiju, discard it to put this down, draw 3, and then play queen, draw 2, and trash 1. And I ended up getting 2Ks, 1K, a bunch of 2Ks, honestly, to help me kind of fend off his last attack. I had 1 life. He had reject in hand. He had a Sparrow, and then the 7-drop Big Mom. So he rejected, and I actually ended up triggering a Germa 66, which allowed me to draw another 2K, which is kind of nuts. And so he went for game. I countered off one of the attack. Obviously, I blocked with the other one, and then he smack swung, and I just had enough, just up by 1K basically. So took it, but wouldn't be possible without the draw effects of these or having the 2Ks that I had in my deck. So everything really went flawlessly there. Probably my toughest matchup, the closest one I had. And then after that, I had a game against Sakazuki. Same game plan, had the 7-drop, was swinging 7 on his face. I think he was removing it actually. He was playing around pudding, but the problem is, I think he was playing around it too much to the point where he was kind of pretty inefficient with his turns because he would discard so many cards, won't have enough gas to really clear the following turns. So I didn't even have to play pudding because pudding was doing the job, or he was doing pudding's job by discarding 2 cards constantly, even though he was at 4 or 3 life. So definitely played a big role. Even though I had it in hand, I didn't really find the time to really put it. So I just developed the bigger bodies for him to kind of get rid of if he wanted. And then after that, I went against Enel. I think it was honestly just a huge knowledge diff. Didn't really understand the matchup too well. Haven't played any Enel using Reiju. But I knew the initial game plan was just to set up Judge, which I did. But it was just hard to kind of go against it. He just had all the big bodies, and then I couldn't really end it fast enough. So we took our first L over there, and then ended up going against Yamato. Only game I would say I didn't find stage earlier on, or even like be able to search for it. So it was just a stageless game for me, but I was able to still take it just because I had every card that I needed in my hand. The 4-drop ETG, the draw power of Reiju, and basically just being able to have all the 2K counters that I needed. He went for a game on the last turn with a leader and Hody Jones, but I just had enough counters to fend off both of them. And then after that, I went against Katakuri again. I think he completely bricked up, honestly, but same deal. Had a Ichiji on board and also Niji. I was just clearing everything he put down, and then the 7-drop was just keep swinging. And on this game, he was actually swinging in my board because he kept drawing onto his big moms with a pudding and a Sparrow. So I'm assuming he just wanted to go late game, but swinging at the 7-drop, he was spending his turn swinging at the 7-drop. So even if it dies, I had another Ichiji on my hand, so I just put the Ichiji down to swing 7 again. And yeah, it was just tough because I wasn't really at lethal range to die, so it was just, smooth sailing from there. And then last game, final game, again, I won against Sakazuki. Same thing, basically. I mean, the game plan is just set up a good Judge turn, set up a Vinsmoke ETG, keep swinging with it, put them at lethal range, scare them off with pudding. So there's a lot of ways you can actually go through against the Sakazuki matchup. And obviously you want to be able to read their hand, see if they have the removals that they need, if you can bounce the cards that they have on the board without it being detrimental to you. And yeah, the deck honestly plays pretty fluid, I would say. I always tell my friends it's with stage, it's definitely an S tier, maybe even more. But without stage, it just hovers everywhere, honestly. Like it could go from a B to C depending on the cards that you draw. Definitely a high roll deck, but if it works, if it keeps grooving, you draw all the pieces, it's definitely a deck that they need to watch out for. But yeah, this is my quick little deck profile. Shout out to Reiju. Shout out to all my friends in the Bay Area, helping me test, playing with them. Yeah, it was just a lot of learning process. Went on a crazy run, and yeah, lots of fun being able to meet more people and go to more of these events. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you guys on the next one.